Thursday, 6 o'clock, and we're live again. Jamie, how you doing?
All good, mate. All good. What's going on?
Yeah, all good, mate. So, yeah, we're here today again, and we are going to be doing our Facebook Live, and we're all going to be talking about content. So, how to create content across your different social media channels. But just before we dive in, like always, if you want to ask any questions specific to your business, please feel free to do so. Like I said, this is the time for you to be a little bit selfish and ask questions specifically about your business, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. Obviously, we're talking about creating content. Now, this topic could go on for ages. It could go on for days. There's that many different avenues that we could explore. So comments and questions about your kind of needs for your business will be good. We do have some discussion points that we want to go over, but please get your questions in and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Rachel is just saying that she loves the intro. Thanks, Rachel. I mean, it was nothing special. If you want to know how to make that, I used a timer inside of Premiere Pro, and then they've got a timer inside of that, and I just picked what format I wanted it. So, so yeah, that's how we do it. And Anna is saying, nice haircut, Billy. Thanks. Your girlfriend's not too bad with the shears, the razors. What do you call them? The clippers. The clippers.
She has clippers. She has like you're a sheep.
But yeah, anything you want to kick off on, Jamie, before we wait for some questions and stuff to come in?
No, mate. Yeah, it's content's a bit. A lot of people struggle with content, so I'm glad that we're doing this and we're gonna help people with the questions. I mean, you'll know, Billy, it's a common thing. What content should I be posting? What channel should I be on? Well, what should I be doing? How should I do this? So it's going to be good to get into the weeds of it here.
Yeah. Okay. Spot on. So we'll just dive straight in then. So the first thing that I really want to talk about with content is people seem to think that they have to be every single place. They've got to be everywhere. And that's really not the case. The most important thing that you need to realize, first of all, is, well, the first thing is, going back to the video the other week, is who's your target audience? Who is it that you actually want to speak to? But then once you've got that nailed, where is your audience hanging out? So what social media platforms are they on? For example, if you know for a fact that your audience isn't going to be on Twitter, what is the point in you posting on Twitter? You're just going to waste energy, you're going to waste time. So you need to be quite productive and efficient with it. So make a list of where you think your audience is hanging out, and that's where you want to start creating your content. I mean, we've kind of dived into a few different platforms personally for our business. So where are we at the minute, Jamie? At the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we've just started.
Yeah. It's
YouTube.
We're different. I mean, I do use Twitter, but I don't really post on Twitter because Twitter, I don't know, it's just not my thing. And again, I think that's an important thing as well. Like, if you don't enjoy a platform, like, don't use it. Like, don't sit or at least I wouldn't say don't use it. I would say make sure your business uses it. But if you don't enjoy a platform, you know, get somebody else to do it for you if you can, because there's no point in doing stuff that you don't enjoy.
Yeah. And it's also, as well, if you know your audience isn't on a particular platform, they're not going to be engaged. And content is all about being engaging. Unless you've got a super, super hot audience where you know for a fact the hardcore fans and they're going to listen and watch no matter what content you put out there, it's got to be engaging, because people's attention spans are low these days, especially on social media. You've got to stop that scroll. People are just flying through the phone. So you've got to have something on there that's engaging. I mean, Jamie, you like the term "stop the scroll," don't you? You use that quite a lot.
Yeah, especially like that's the number one thing we can do with social. And if you run ads, or whether whatever you're doing, especially if you're paying, whatever platform you're on, the first thing it's got to do, even if you're not paying for it, is the first thing that you want to do is stop somebody scrolling and capture their attention. You cannot speak to someone if you don't have their attention. So you've got to grab their attention, and that's where stop the scroll comes from.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll not get into the depths of it, but there's ways that, well, Jamie developed a little ways with a custom metric, so how you can test if people are stopping the scroll when you're on your ads or you're in your content. But we'll leave that for another video, because that probably gets a little bit in depth about Facebook ads report and things like that. So we'll not bore the living daylights out of you today on that one, but we will come back to it at another time. So have you got any questions? Has anyone got any questions about content? Please get them in the comments. We'll be more than happy to answer them. So what struggles are you having with content? Let us know. Are you finding that you're not being consistent enough? Are you struggling with actually creating the content itself? Do you not know where your audience is hanging out? Let us know in the comment section what problems you're having, and then we'll try our best to address them. So one thing to go into really is one thing I touched on there is being consistent. And I mean, I'm guilty of this sometimes. I think everyone's guilty of this on going throughout the year of not being consistent enough on social media. And a lot of the time, people are not consistent because they don't really know how to make content, or they're not planning for content. So if you can kind of schedule what posts you want to go out, say on a Sunday night for the rest of that week, and you start to get into a little bit of a routine and you're starting to plan your content, that's really going to help you going forward. And regurgitating content and using content that you've already made can go a long way as well. So for example, this Facebook Live, we could then chop this content up and use it in the little segmentations, and then we might put that on Facebook, we might put it on YouTube, we might put it on TikTok, or whatever. Okay, so think about what content you can use, and think about what content you can use for different purposes.
Yeah, and it's a you know, doing that is it's a time saver as well. You know, you don't have to keep rooting your brains for things to post. Repurposing content like that is genius.
Yeah. So we've got a question coming in. So can't see who it is. If you want to click the link that's in the description, that'll stop this coming up as Facebook user, and you can just give StreamYard permission to actually use your name and profile picture. So whatever variety content I try, I can't see much reach in Facebook. Is it something to rectify without paying for anything? I mean, Jamie, I'll let you answer this one in depth if you like, but the first thing that I would just want to say is Facebook limit your organic reach, which I'll say all the time, to about 5% if you're lucky, because they want you on the paid advertising platform. And I think I say this quote, I want to get this quote on my wall, because I say it at least on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's already going on your headstone.
But do you want to answer this one, Jamie?
Yeah, and it's important fact to note about that is that one of the other reasons that your organic reach is limited is it's because you need a big following, and then there's Facebook and other platforms are going to reduce your reach to that following by a very low margin. And one of the big reasons is that there's so many different channels, there's so many different people, pages, everything. There's so much content on social media. You've got to stand out. And so if you want to do it organically without paying anything, then you've got to build a big following organically, and it takes a lot of time. It's just not something you can do. You might make a unicorn piece of content and gain a bunch of followers from it, but they're not necessarily going to be ideal followers. You need to snowball your momentum, and you do that with consistency, keeping consistent, measuring what works versus what doesn't work. So the variety of content you try and you don't see much reach, are you actually recording that reach? Are you measuring your content on a daily basis? How often are you posting? There's a lot of variables that come into it. But I would say that regardless of what your measurement stats tell you, I would say it couldn't possibly be, unless we go back in time when everything was cheaper. A few years ago when Facebook, or even last year when Facebook, 2018 when Facebook was cheaper, 2019 when everything was cheaper, it's worth every penny to pay for it. You'd be a fool not to pay for it in my eyes. It's the cheapest form of reach that you could possibly buy.
Yeah. One thing I want to say on that is if you go into your Facebook page insights, you can click on posts and you can change the filter to engagement. What I'll do is I'll actually make a separate video showing you how to do this, and I'll post it in the groups or on the pages, because it'll actually show you the percentage of engagement that you're getting per post. But what this tool allows you to do is it allows you to spot trends. So if you start to see a regular pattern with content that's getting higher engagement, you know that your audience is responding to that. So I'll make a note and I'll make a video showing you how to actually do that. I'm not just pretending to write here, I'm actually writing down engagement video.
There's also on that column as well, so when you look at your engagement rate, on the other column you can see page fans, or something like, page fans versus non-page fans, and it'll show you the difference. Now if you look at that difference, then that's another good leading indicator, because that's going to let you know how many times it was shared, or if people are commenting, how many times it was shared to those people's friends. So it's a good idea if Facebook is letting people that don't follow your page see your posts, then it thinks that it's a really good post because it's sending it out to people, it's letting other people see it. So that's another good little column to have. But definitely watch the video that Buddy's going to post in.
Yeah, I'll make a video and I'll definitely show you how to access that information. I'm just laughing here at Melissa's comment here. Are you ready for your song, Bill? So I'll just tell you what happened here the other day, right? Melissa was somehow connected to my Spotify account. She's probably not paying for it. She's probably hijacking on my Spotify. She pressed play on Spotify, and my soundbar came on when I was working, and I nearly shit myself because it was blasting, and I was in the room by myself, so I didn't have a clue that was going on. So she's now saying that she's the Black Tip Social resident DJ. That's what Melissa's saying. So Melissa, if you can try and get the song on Good Looks, I unplugged it.
What song was it?
Weller Man.
Important question.
It was Weller Man. It's an Irish song.
Oh,
go and Google Weller Man after this.
Right,
go on. I think that's what it was called. Another question. So, Laura, hi, Laura. Thanks for jumping on again. Nice to see you. So, we're a brand new business advertising camper van hire. Any advice on where to even start that would be helpful?
Yeah. So, sorry, mate. First thing I would say is messaging. I think the important thing is messaging. It's an overall thing where across every business, like everyone keeps trying to look for like this like super trick or super tactic or anything, but just that communication with the benefit of your business. So why would people want to hire a camper van, and making sure that all of your content is focused around hiring a camper van, and the benefits of it, the luxuries of it, what it will bring them, what it will do for them. As long as you focus on that, you're going to attract the right people for sure.
I think with the camper van as well, I mean, you can get really creative with the content. I mean, especially if let's say you're going out and about in your camper van. I mean, not at the minute in lockdown, but you know what I mean? Let's say you're going to the Lake District in your camper van. You can shoot some content showing the type of scenery, the views, in trying to get like an immersive experience for people of what they can do if they do hire your camper van, so you can give them that feeling of what it would actually be like. But again, Laura, it's going to be going down to being consistent. Showing your camper vans. I mean, they're quite a cool vehicle to look at. So, what type of camper van is it? Is it like one of the old school ones, or is it like a new modern style camper van? But whatever it is, try and show like the features and the benefits of actually using it, and then what it's like when you do go places in that camper van.
Yeah, speak to people where they are as well. I imagine something cool like, directed at people who are working from home. Could be working from this camper van with this gorgeous view. Do you know what I mean? If you got a laptop and it's just like on the bench with like a first person view of it, and then like the camera picks up the laptop and it goes outside to this beautiful scenery, and like it'll be better to work from here kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just reaching people where they're at their current, where they are.
I'm just laughing at this comment that's just came in there that Louisa said that you'll be selling the dream of escape and freedom. I absolutely love it.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. I like that, Louise. That's nice. That's a really good way of looking at it. But that's what it's like. I mean, after the first lockdown and the pubs reopened again, a lot of bars, well, they were in our area in South Shields in Newcastle, they were advertising the space to go and work in the pub. I don't know if you've seen it or not. There was loads of them done it. So rather than being stuck in the house working from home, why not come and rent a table, or use a table and have unlimited teas and coffees while you're working. So yeah, there's loads of ways that you can kind of use the current situation to your advantage if you're not breaking the rules with regards to traveling and things like that. So next question from Ryan. Hi Ryan, how you doing? Nice of you to jump on, mate. So just starting out in the Instagram world, helping others to grow their engagement, to turn followers into customers. Not sure whether to go down the route of consultancy basis or direct marketing. Any advice for anyone starting out? Do you mean you're like Instagram specialist? Is that what you mean? And you're going to help people get engagement with their business? Is that what you mean, Ryan?
Engagement.
I don't know if you read that a different way to me or not.
Helping others grow their engagement, and then turn followers into customers. So not sure whether to go down the route of consultancy or direct marketing.
Yeah, I think he said yes there, so he's just put another comment on saying yes. So I think what he's saying is that he's actually like a social media marketing agency, and he just wants to or he wants to help people grow their Instagram accounts. So it's just it's all the same type of stuff really that we're talking about. Is getting the message across. It's always going to be about the messaging, and it's going to be, are you speaking directly to a target audience? That's the only real way of connecting with a new audience.
Yeah. If the way I'm reading it, so is it like a consultancy basis, or will they hire? Is that what you mean by consultancy or direct marketing? So consultancy, you'll obviously consult them on how to do that, or direct marketing, they would hire you to do that. Is that what he means?
I think so. Ryan, if you could just give a bit more clarity in the comments, and we'll come back to that question if you don't mind. Please just clear that up for us, and we'll go into it in detail for you. Hi, Marsha. Marsha was on last week as well. Nice to see you again, Marsha. So my first tip is to see what successful similar businesses do. Holidays, you can feature caravan sites, places to visit, etc., etc. I think this could be a good plug for looking at the Facebook ads library. So if you know, for example, going back to Laura's comment about the camper van hire, if you know, Laura, that there's a huge or a big player in your field who hires out camper vans, go and have a look on the Facebook ads library and see if that page are running any ads, and you can actually have a look at what ads they're doing. But then also go and look at the page and see what they're doing organically as well. Type in caravan into Facebook or hashtags on Instagram and see what other people are tagging with camper vans and things. That might give you some advice, or some hints and tips rather.
Yeah, again, the Facebook ads library is definitely a good place to look at, and just get some inspiration rather than, remember, not to copy it because you don't know if it's doing well or not. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just laughing. I'm not going to repeat. Just one of my mates has sent us a WhatsApp, and I've got it loaded up on my computer, and they know I'm going to see that while I'm on the live. So Ryan saying yes to both. So I think so that he is a consultant for social media. So he wants to help people grow their business.
Personally, if it was me, I would do a consultancy, because if someone was to hire me to basically look after their their organic social channels, and I know there's people that do that. People who've got businesses as like social media managers and stuff. But for me, it's just, I don't think anyone would pay what I would charge to do it, because it's such a huge slog of work. Like, it's massive. There are some good ones out there for sure. Some little hidden gems. I'm sure there's one in the coronavirus group. Actually, the name escapes us, to be honest. But it's, I think it's going to be a personal preference, I think, Ryan. Whatever you'd rather see yourself doing. Would you prefer to train people up and do that way, or would you prefer to, build out strategies for the businesses and measure and all that for all those different businesses? It's going to be personal preference, I think.
Yeah. And I think obviously knowing the platform inside out and where you can find all the insights and stuff, Ryan, as well, and what are people clicking on hashtags and what hashtags, like all that sort of stuff as well. Yeah, that's definitely going to help. Next one. So Marsha is saying that, Marsha, not heard of the ads library. Where is that? So there's actually two ways you can access this, Marsha. So if you just go to Google and type in Facebook ads library, the top link's going to take you straight to it. The second way you can find out what ads people are running is if you go on someone's page. So if you go and type Black Tip Social, for example, and you go down to page transparency, it'll say this business is running ads or this business isn't running ads. If they are running ads, it gives you a link, and then it takes you directly to the Facebook ads library. So it's a really good tool. We use it quite regularly just to check out what's going on. So yeah, go and have a look at that. Billy, what's the difference between views?
I think is it the page transparency?
So yeah, it's in page transparency.
I thought so.
Are you lagging a
bit? So. Sorry, mate. Go on.
Yeah, no, I didn't know what was happening there. You were lagging a little bit. So are we back now? Are you back hearing me here, Jamie?
Yeah. I believe so.
Right, okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
Right, okay. Spot on. Pablo is asking, so he's saying that what is the difference between views and engagement? I mean, well, basically engagement can be across photos and videos or whatever post that you're doing, and views are only going to really show up if you are running videos on Facebook. Correct, Jamie?
Yeah. So views is measured a couple of different ways. You got like 3-second views, 10-second views. You be able to see all of that in if you go into a video post. But engagement is anything from a click on the post, so they could click that, read more or view more, whatever it is, if the text is really long. It could be clicking from your post through to your page. It could be clicking the photo on the post. It could be clicking the comment section to read comments. It could be anything. Yeah, reaction share,
sharing, everything, yeah. I mean, and then you need to think about why you're using those different metrics and what, I mean, if you're thinking from an ads perspective, or an organic perspective, it could be used for totally different things. Obviously, the engagement is just obviously for you to verify that people are in fact using your engaging with you with the content that you're putting out there.
Yeah.
So going on to the next one, really, and Jamie, I think we should talk a little bit about this, is just what type of content that you put on different platforms. So it's really easy. I mean, and we've tested this. So for example, I might chop some of this live up and put it on TikTok, but then I'd done that last week and I noticed that it got quite low engagement and low reach. But then I uploaded a TikTok style video, for example, and then that got something like 13 or 15,000 views in comparison to the one like this for 190, which had something like 195 views. So it's important to kind of speak the language of the platform. Is that or use the platform style? Is that the right wording that you would use?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's it's speaking, it's being super native and fitting in on the platform. Looking at other videos and seeing why they've done so well. And I think the immediate thing, the one thing that I pick up from TikTok is that people are giving anyone that gets in front of them on the feed, they're giving them less time to convince them to stay and watch the rest of it. Because I know, people that just skim through TikTok like half a second before they go on to the next thing, like literally. That's why it's important to have a really good thumbnail on your videos and video ads as well. But it's, and it's one of the reasons that TikTok, actually, when you go through the feed, they've got, you can post over like the thumbnail, can't you, and write stuff over.
You can.
Because it's important. You've got such a low amount of time, 2 seconds to capture attention. I think that's going to be on every platform, but making sure that you fit in on the different platforms, how people like to consume content on that platforms. I think that's really important.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're not on TikTok, I mean, I need to practice what I preach here. I need to get more consistent on TikTok because it's something that's really exploding at the moment. And one of the customers who we've worked with previously, I want to go and check how many views he's got. I told him to go on TikTok about 6 months ago, and they're hitting like 1 million views of posting things like that now. And they must be approaching, they must have a few 100,000 followers. I'm going to go and check now just so we can have a look at them. But they're doing really well. I mean, like within about 8 weeks of being on, they hit the first 1 million views on TikTok, which is insane. I mean, I've not had anything like that personally. I think the highest views I've had on TikTok's 35,000, but that's still an incredible reach for a post on a platform. But it's quite inconsistent. I mean, still people are still really trying to work out what works and what doesn't work, because random videos can really explode on TikTok. But it's always going to go back to that. Are people finding value from your content? Are you being engaging, or are they getting enjoyment out of it? So that's what you need to think about. And if you're not on TikTok, go and give it a go. But with ratios, Jamie, I think people make this mistake quite a lot as well, especially going from Facebook to Instagram. And what we mean by ratios, by the way, is the shape that the phone or the computer will display your video. So on Instagram, it might want to be a square, for example. The one that you're looking at now on Facebook is a 16:9 ratio. So just go and type in platform ratios into Google, and it'll give you an idea of what ratios per platform. And this will help with your engagement as well. I mean, it'll help because people are used to seeing that sort of format. Anything you want to add on the ratio side of things, Jamie?
No, just make sure you test it. Making sure when you repurpose in the right ratio, because it can be totally detrimental. Yeah.
So we've got another question that comes in. If you've got any other questions as well, guys, please get them in. We'll be more than happy to answer them. I'm not sure who it is, because it's saying Facebook user. Like I said, if you want your name and profile image, click the link in the description, and then that gives the permissions to StreamYard, and it'll pull through your Facebook profile and your name. But the question is it important to think about the demographic or of your target audience before you post on socials? Do the different platforms have ideal times to post content, depending on the age, for example?
So yeah, it's different platforms have got different, and it's important to do this research, I think, because, for instance, I think everyone thinks that TikTok is for under 15-year-olds or something, but I'm sure the exact figure escapes us, but I'm pretty certain it's around 40% of TikTok users are between the age of 16 and 25. So that's it's when you start to consider that, that's a good, maybe. I know a lot of people who are, over 30 that are absolutely glued to TikTok. So
there's loads more 30s on TikTok.
Yeah, it's so big. So it's important to do that research, and not just fob it off because you think you know your customer when they're probably on there. But again, being in the used platforms differently, you know what I mean? So just having that different kind of being what's called omnipresent, being on all different channels in different ways is just different ways to build relationships with customers. But I think personally, ideal posting times is given a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? It's given a little bit more importance than it's due. Like if your content is valuable and it's good, it's gonna reach more than the other, than the other content that you post. Now, obviously, posting it to give it the best possible chance is ideal. But and having a content plan is going to help you do that. But I just think focus more on the value. Yes, of course, think about the demographics. When thinking about what channels those people are on in order to post, but also I think psychographics is even more important. What's going on in their head? What are they thinking about that relates to your product or service, and how can you reach them and entertain them as well? I think three things for me, right? If you can, first thing you've got to do is stop the scroll, and you've got to make it watchable, and whilst also educating or informing them. So for me, the three things that come to my mind is curiosity is going to be one of the number one things to stop the scroll. It's curiosity. When you stop the scroll, for me, the only thing that makes you stop is what's going on here. What is this? Yeah, so curiosity is going to stop. How can you pique curiosity immediately? And if you can educate, inform and entertain, and even demonstrate some stuff, there's an old formula called ED: educate, demonstrate, inform, and entertain. And then if you can solve all of those, then you're going to be golden.
What business are you in? What business sector are you in? I'd like to know. If you can post in the comments what your business is and what area you're in. I'll be interested to know what that is. So Ryan's just clarified that they're going back to the engagement on Instagram. So I'm looking to help clients grow their businesses on Instagram by giving advice on how to engage with more followers. I'm unsure whether to plan it for them and highlight what they should do each day/week, or actually step in and do the work for them. I mean, Ryan, what Jamie touched on before, I mean, we have done what you're explaining there on the second part about doing the organic stuff for the customer, and we solely specialize in Facebook ads. I'll start again. We specialize in Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, any type of advertising on a platform. If it's paid advertising, we do it. We moved away from doing the organic stuff just because of how time consuming it is, and then how much we charge to actually do organic. It's not worth it for the customer as well, and it's something they can do themselves. But so I think, like Jamie said, going down the consultancy route and advising on strategy rather than doing it for them will probably be more beneficial for you and the business.
Yeah, and I think for me as well, we're always going to have more control on paid. Like you can control, you can do things about it, whereas you kind of, there's so many algorithm changes that go on, and they seem to be happening more frequently on different platforms. And if you're handling the management, then you're probably handling the content creation as well. So there's all that content to create. And then also trying to find the right clients where you don't have to prove your worth every 10 minutes if you're managing the page or different pages. It's just for us, as a personal choice, it's so much harder to grow that kind of business, and not very rewarding whatsoever.
Yeah. Another question. So from Pablo, he's basically saying, what platform is best for high quality images, video. I have a great camera and I feel like Insta and Facebook are compressing images far too much. Any way to fix this? I mean, Facebook, you can upload in full 1080p in Facebook, and it doesn't compress it. I mean, you might want to check your export settings, because I don't feel like Facebook compresses it that much. I mean, I've even uploaded 4K to Facebook. Yes, that does get compressed, but it still comes out as full HD. YouTube can display 4K, so you can upload a 4K video to YouTube and then it'll work. Yeah, I mean, you might want to check your export setting, because like I've said, I've got quite a lot of experience uploading videos and I've never found quality being that much of an issue. What can be an issue though, and this is where a lot of people get tripped up, they'll think the platform is what's crushing it. Now, what happens is, if you've got a poor internet connection, poor Wi-Fi, you're on...
I was just about to say this, you know.
Were you?
I'm so glad you said that, because it makes us feel smart. I know nothing about this side.
So what happens is they'll have it on an automatic setting. So if your Wi-Fi connection or your internet connection is poor, yes, it doesn't compress it. It just automatically lowers the quality, and they're actually two different things. So it'll reduce it to a lower. So it might drop it from 1080 to 720, then it might go from 720 to 480. When I'm talking about that, that's 480p is standard definition. And then you've got 720, which is high definition. And then you've got 1080p, which is good, full HD. And then you've got 4K, which is obviously ultra high definition. I'll not bore you with the technical sides of video there, but yeah, it's normally...
You've already done that, mate. Don't worry about it.
It's usually your internet connection that'll do that. And there's normally a little cog in the bottom right corner of a video where you can change the setting if you want to. So check that first. That might help. Anything else you want to add on that, Jamie? Or you all right with that one?
I can't add anything to that, mate.
So going back to the one about the demographics and the target audience, so a Facebook user, I still don't know who it is. If you want to get your name, like I said, there should be a link in the description that allow you to come up with. Sorry, I can't seem to post other than Facebook user. I'm in the estate agency business, so yeah, knowing your target audience. I mean, the reason that someone might want to buy a house, for example, if they're a young new couple and they're getting the first house, compared to someone who's all the kids have left the house and they're kind of downsizing, the messaging is going to be totally different for those type of target audiences. So that's why it's really important to understand the type of house, the budget that you're selling, and then second of all, what type of kind of customer or avatar or person that you would see would be ideal to move into that house.
Yeah, and then help them visualize what it will look like. Like, I feel estate agents, I feel like there's an opportunity in that space, because a lot of them will get some amazing videos done, and I've seen some incredible videos, mind. But it's, you know, if that messaging isn't there, it's not going to connect. You've got to have, you know, I was talking to somebody who works for a really big estate agency up here in the Northeast, and I was just suggested that instead of, you know, the kind of cottoned on to, you know, starting the video with opening the door to try and give that like reveal effect. But if you start the video with putting the key in the door and turning it, that's going to help that person envision living there. Do you know what I mean? Something as simple as, instead of just walking around, you know, like showing the house in these beautiful sort of kitchens and amazing houses and stuff, what would be amazing about living in these houses? Like, if it's this massive, amazing kitchen, imagine, for example, like just putting a plate in the dishwasher. It's like a first person view, putting a plate in the dishwasher, closing it, and then turning around just to put something on the island in the kitchen to reveal this massive house. Like, you know, like helping somebody envision living there is going to do so much more than just showing it off.
Yeah. Great. Yep. Spot on. Ryan's just saying, thanks, lads. No problem, Ryan. That's why we do these lives. It's to help you out. So any questions you've got, you know, is kind of firing them back in the comments on this. Or we'll go live every Thursday at 6 o'clock anyway. So jump in every week if you can do. We'll always post the topic as an event so you can see what we are doing. Pablo's also saying, thank you. No worries at all. That's what we're doing them for. Any other questions? We're coming to the end of the live. I mean, so any other questions, please get them in before we do finish this off. One thing that I did want to touch on, because I've got a couple of tips for you, but I wanted to see if anyone watching might be to give me some advice as well, because I always like to know what software people are using to create content. So creating content from a mobile phone for video editing, InShot is a good one. From a desktop for getting really good social media templates, Canva is a really, really good free bit of software that you can use. So what type of content or what type of software are you using to create your content? Let us know. I mean, I use Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro CC, and Lightroom quite a bit. Premiere Pro for me video editing, Lightroom for photos. So there's loads of software out there. Have you got any favorites, Jamie?
See, I used to do some graphic design. I used to do graphic design and create posters and for events and all that kind of stuff. So I've got Photoshop experience, and I stopped using Photoshop about a year ago just because Canva is getting so good. Canva is getting much better. It's now got a background eraser tool on it as well. It's actually easier than using Photoshop. And Photoshop, I've got to cut out the background with the mouse. And Canva just does it. Canva's getting so good. There's royalty-free images, videos, music you can put on the back of your videos. Honestly, Canva's amazing for posts.
Canva's unreal. I can't wait for some graphic designer who's watching this now who's going to jump on. Yeah. They're going to come in your place about Photoshop now. Graham saying Canva for my posts. Yeah, I use Canva quite a bit. Actually, going back to the templates and stuff with Canva, you can get a background, you can upload it, but the templates they've got's incredible. You type in Facebook story, Facebook. They do video on Canva as well now, by the way, so you can get video templates. So yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Pablo saying that he uses After Effects and Vegas. I mean, I'm quite well equipped with video editing, and After Effects is very, very high level. You can do some fantastic stuff in After Effects, but that's I don't really know how to use it. I haven't put any time in. Then Vegas, it's a good bit of video editing software as well, but I prefer using Premiere Pro. But yeah, if you want to do it quick on your phone, InShot's a good one. Any other little apps or anything that you use? I mean, one thing that's happening now though, Jamie, with these sort of things is Photoshop, for example, is having to adapt because of apps. So I'll give you an example. The new release that got the new Photoshop CC that's just come out. I've seen loads of people kicking off in the in forums about it, that they've just got a sky replace tool where you click a button and you can put any sky in. And they're saying this is now taking the skill set away from doing it. But the reason Photoshop have implemented this is because you can just get an app to do it for you now. So if they don't move with the times, people are going to stop using it and paying for the software.
Do you know what? To be honest, this is something that I'm glad we're touching on this, because a lot of people, that's what you got to do, keep up with the times. If you're a graphic designer, you absolutely cannot complain about this kind of thing. It's technology, it's human. It's just nature catching up with technology. That's all it is. Like there was no rallies or outcrying for people that owned bookshops when Amazon first come about, and nobody's sticking up for them now either. It's just you can't moan about it. There's nothing to moan about. All you've got to do is keep up or advance your services or hone your messaging so that you can communicate with people why they need a graphic designer versus Canva. Why do you need to employ a graphic designer or anything of that nature when I can go on Canva and do it fairly quickly in myself? So I know, even though I know it's not going to be 100% as good, but I'm going to be able to do it for free and pretty quickly. Yeah.
I mean, and also as well, we use a graphic designer with stuff that we purposely decide that we need a custom design, for example. So we know we need something like a custom logo or branded kind of templates for social posts. We've got a graphic designer that we use, and he's incredible. He's awesome with what he does. But for day-to-day content and stuff, we just use Canva. So it just depends on your skill set, but an affordability at the same time. But if you're that graphic designer, you need to, like Jamie said, you need to create the message of why someone needs to use your services. And it goes for things like web designers as well. Web designers, I mean, we're going off track a bit here, but there's things like Wix where you can just create it. And I know the reason why. There's loads of reasons why you need to get a custom website built over Wix, just for tracking and conversions for social media ads and stuff. But yeah, you just need to make your message stand out.
Do you know why I think it's probably disrupting? I'm sorry, I know you're going to move on to a question, but do you know why I think it's disrupting?
I don't have one.
Because I think graphic designers have kind of leaned too much, and this happens in every sector. I feel like it sounds like we're picking on graphic designers, but we're absolutely not. We're not doing that at all. No, it's not. I love it. And we use graphic designers. We're absolutely not picking on them, but let's look at that. Why do we use them? Because we want specific custom graphics that we can't do on Canva. So there's some messaging for you if you're a graphic designer. What can you not do on Canva? Right, let's highlight that in your messaging going forward. It's no longer good enough to turn around, just to go back to your example about changing the sky. The graphic designers can't boast about, look what I can do for you. Can't do that anymore. That's been taken away. That's completely been taken away by Canva. So you need to move into things that Canva can't do. So there's your focus. So now it's not a negative thing. It's just now you've got deeper focus.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm notorious for as well, so Richard, who we use for the graphic designs, like I'm a nightmare. So I can't visualize. I can never visualize what I want. I know what I want, but I can't visualize it. So I give him the most unrealistic description of what I think I want in my head. And then he goes and brings it to life. So it's about kind of turning my mixed messaging into something creative. And then you've got to go down that route. So yeah, just think outside the box a little bit. Any other apps or software that you use, Jamie? What was that one? Stories? Was it Fold or something like that? What am I getting?
Unfold. Unfold's good. Unfold's a good mobile app. The Canva mobile app wasn't that good, but they've actually improved it quite recently. So that's still good. And if you go to use stories templates on that, that's good. But Unfold that's another one. It's for stories primarily, and they've got some really good, like kind of less popular kind of frames and templates and stuff. So it's really nice. It's a nice app, Unfold, yeah, for sure.
And one thing that we haven't touched on really that absolutely needs to be mentioned here is the Facebook Creator Studio. Not for necessarily creating templates and stuff, but if we're talking about content and scheduling and getting your content organized to make it engaging so you've got more time to concentrate on engaging content, go to the Facebook Creator Studio because it allows you to schedule all of your posts. You don't need to pay for software to do it. It's free on Facebook, and you can schedule it all in one place, and it makes it really, really, it's just really effective for your planning. And also you can get your insights on your posts through the Creator Studio as well. They've got some great tools in there.
It's getting better all the time as well. It's constantly getting better, for sure.
I think you can schedule on Instagram now, can you? On the Creator Studio?
Yeah, you can schedule, yeah.
So just a question here. What Pablo's saying, what was the app for pics? InShot? No, so it's InShot with a T, and it's for video. Actually, you can do pictures on InShot as well, can't you?
Yeah, you can, yeah. I've just got an update. Funny you should say that. I got an update today. They've added some new transitions and backgrounds and all that kind of thing. So all these things are getting better constantly. Really good.
Yeah. So replace that P with a T, InShot, and it's a really good app. I think there's a free version, but I think if you want to unlock the features and all of the functionality, I think you've got to pay. Again, I might have made that up. I mean, I pay for all these apps and then I don't use half of them, but InShot is one that I use on a regular basis. Just trying to see, I'm just looking on my phone to see if there's any other good apps. But just before we wrap this up, is there anything you want to finish on, Jamie, just when I'm looking at this?
No, I think I think we've went through some of the apps are good, and again, I think it's just as on the content thing. One of the biggest things that we tell people, because it's probably one of the most common struggles, because it is difficult. You can't just automatically be creative. You can't do that, but sometimes it takes time. But the most important thing is just to get started. Just do it. Too many people get too scared about the content and if it's going to be any good or not. But it doesn't matter. Like, there's nothing you can post in an attempt to communicate value to potential customers. There's nothing you can post that's going to do any harm to your business. The only thing that will happen is that it might not reach as many people as you want, and it might get less likes than you imagined. So stop thinking about what happens if it goes crap and think about it might do amazing. Like, look at all the stupid videos that have went absolutely viral. Look at that guy on TikTok that was skating down a ramp drinking juice and he went viral, and he was living in a caravan, and the company bought him a house, a car. Just
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't plan to make that kind of content. So anything can go viral for whatever reason. So just do it. Just get started and get moving.
One thing that we haven't touched on, actually, and we really absolutely need to say this, because we do preach this all of the time. You need to stop selling on your posts on Facebook and on Instagram. Because people think the organic posting is about selling. Come and buy my product, come and visit my website, come to me shop, go and do this, go and do that. And people just switch off. You've got to provide value or engagement. Sorry, value or entertainment. That's what that's what you've not learning something. You've got to be entertaining someone. That is in a nutshell. So by you telling someone, I mean, of course you've got to have call to actions on your post sometimes, but do it sometimes. Don't do it on every post. The worst thing you can do is try and sell on every single post. I don't think we've got any more questions, so we'll wrap that Facebook Live up there. And well, there was one question that I've just popped in my head because it scrolled down and it was right back up, and I'm just going to touch on it. It was, can I find it or not? Basically, it was, can we catch up on this later? The answer is yes. So as soon as we finish doing this live, it'll be uploaded into the various groups and on the Black Tip Social Facebook page as well. So go and check this live out again at a later date if you know that there's some value for you, or you want to revisit it just to look on your content, or you might have jumped in halfway through and missed the beginning. So yeah, that's where it'll be live. I'm sorry, I'm just reading if there's any other questions, and there is. So just going to bring them up. So Anna is asking, what about 20-80 proportion? I think, Anna, you're talking about 80-20 selling to value. I think that's what you mean. I mean, yeah, I mean that's probably an okay 1 in 5 sell. I mean, that's still quite a lot, really.
I think the mix up. I think yes, I think 80-20 is decent. Yeah, it's but you've got to. I don't think it's just about asking for the sale, because you've got to ask for a sale. You've got to call someone to action every now and again. But it's about how you do it. Like the number one pet hate, I can't tell you how much this drives me insane, is when, and I'm sorry if anyone does this, but I hate, honestly, it drives me insane. It drives me insane. No, it's not. I don't mean to offend anybody, but when a lot of times you see people saying, "Why not?" So like, why not buy my product?
I'm a nightmare for that. Jamie has to change our copy.
Why not?
Me writing that.
Why not? Why not buy a car from us? Why not? But it's your job as the marketer to convince them why. Not ask them a question. You're supposed to convince them why. You're supposed to make them. So when you do ask for the sale, make sure that you're making them the hero of the story, and you are positioning yourself as what we would say is the guide, so that you're guiding them and you're going to help them solve their problem. So it's not just, it's not, an example I heard today was, it's not just I'm a home chef. It's when families get together and they eat food together, but it's normally crappy food. Well, I'm a home chef, so that when families do eat together, they can eat healthily. Like, that's totally different thing. Like, that's a completely different. It's benefit driven for the end customer. So I think it's, yes, you've got to call people to action sometimes, but make sure you do it in a benefit driven way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just realizing here that some comments mustn't be coming through because. Oh, no, they are coming through. I was just cross-referencing with a different group through that we're in here. So we've got a couple more here. So I'm not sure who this is, but it's basically saying value and entertainment all day long. Totally agree. Yep, it's just 100% what you've got to do, with a little bit of selling here and there, because at the end of the day, you've got to get the sales in. But people are going to come to you if you're providing value anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Pete saying? Pete's just saying that one of our clients hard sells daily. Works. Yeah, I mean, some people just hard sell all of the time, and people will stop engaging when you do that. And Anna's asking, so I'm wondering what he sells. All right, I'll see what's going on here. And then, so that person is selling hot tubs. Another is an Instagram coach, both 5 and 6 figures a month. Yeah, I mean, if it works for some people, but as a golden rule, hard selling all the time doesn't work in my experience.
Certainly not. And if they are hard selling, they're making 6 figures, then they're missing out on the other 6 figures that they could be making. Yeah, they should be making 7.
Because if people are hard selling to me all the time, I just don't engage with the content. I just scroll straight past it because I know, there's Billy again. Oh, he's trying to get me money. Boom, gone. That's and a lot of people have that mindset on social media. So yeah, Pete. I mean, if it's working, that he could maybe, or he or she could maybe get even more sales by not hard selling and trying going for a lot of value-based content. So Facebook user again, and what is the best example of a call to action? I mean, a call to action can mean loads of things. It could be go to our website, buy the product, click the link. Just it's giving them an instruction that you want them to do. Now, sometimes, right, what I don't want you to get mixed up with this message is, I'm not saying don't have a call to action. If you're taking someone, say, from social media to a landing page, that landing page, for example, has to have a clear call to action. If you want them to go from Facebook to your landing page, let's say it's an ad, you need to have a clear call to action. But what we're talking about here is top of funnel. We're talking about cold audience, or organically on a day-to-day basis, have value or entertainment all day long. As you move people through your sales funnel to start to get to know you, this is then when you can drop in a call to action, click the link below, go to the website. And one thing I want to talk about on call to actions, never give someone a multiple choice. And what I mean by that, don't say, go and follow me on Instagram and also buy this product, click this link below, because people get confused. A confused mind doesn't buy. You've got to give people straight, simple instruction, do one thing at a time, and you'll notice that your conversion rates go up. But yeah, examples of a call to action, Jamie, did I miss any obvious ones out there?
I mean, it's quite, it's just the ask, isn't it? It's just, it could be download this, could be call now as like a classic, old school example of call to action. But it's whatever takes them to the next stage of the customer journey, I think is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, what Anna's saying, yeah. So Anna's saying that I like the latest feature, adding a button to a post with a call to action. Yeah, it's a good feature that you can add that. And I think there's a few different options, isn't there, available? Message me, message now, call, shop now, learn more. There's a few different ones, but yeah, it's a good tool that you can use on Facebook for that. Do we have any other questions just before we jump off? We'll stay on as long as we need to. We've been on 52 minutes. That's absolutely fine. We're more than happy to stay on. I mean, actually, I can stay on for another 5 minutes because we've got a coaching call at 7 o'clock tonight. So, So 5 minutes. We can stay on for 5 more minutes, but we're more than happy to stay on for 5 minutes. Usually, I wouldn't cut off at 7 o'clock.
We can stay on as long as you like, but it's only 5 minutes.
So, any other questions?
And don't forget, if you're watching this on a replay as well, you can post them in the comments of this video, and we'll answer in the comments.
And also, if you want to learn more about Facebook advertising, organic advertising, whatever it is, anything related to social media, we have a free Facebook Ads Academy. Just type into Facebook Ads Academy, and it'll come straight up. And then we'll get you approved. And we've got a lot of video content inside of there. We've got a lot of learning modules inside the units, a lot of material, video content for you to go through. So we're going to be live every single Thursday at 6 o'clock. Make sure that you jump in next week, and we're going to be here answering your questions. I was going to tell you the topic, but I can't remember what it actually is. So go and check the events page, and it'll be on. But yeah, see you next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in.